Family-owned and operated is possibly the most misused and overused term in marketing today. In the case of our next business, it is absolutely with integrity. It is a privilege to introduce to you Rob Ayres, owner of Ayres, a muffler brake and alignment center in Sparks. Rob, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Mitch, for having me in.
When I say family-owned and operated, that is rampant in your business. Let's tell a little bit about the family and the history in our community of Ayres Muffler Brake and Alignment Center.
Sure. We opened May 14th of 1979. My mom and dad and myself and sister used to help out in the bookkeeping part of it. We've been there in the same location on Shaber Avenue in Sparks since 1979. We've been there 33 years. My mom and dad and I have always been there, and we have guys that work with us. Prior to having the shop, my grandfather, my father's father, used to have Ayres Auto Parts out on 765 South Virginia Street. Prior to that location, he was where the Eldorado Hotel Casino is presently now. After my grandfather got out of the parts business, my dad had decided to open up the shop, and so my mom and my dad and myself opened up the shop, and we've been in the same location doing mufflers and brakes and alignment suspension work for about 33 years now.
Well, and nothing says quality as much as your name in our community. For generations, it's really meant something. The name Ayres Muffler Brake and Alignment Center really says what you do, but let's get specifically into the braking systems to begin with, and what people really need to know about a proper brake job.
Well, on all our brake jobs, drum brakes or disc. Older cars had four-wheel drum, then they went to disc and drum, and now disc and disc on the front and the rear. And a good normal brake job is, good quality parts is the first thing. You always want to use good quality parts. There's other parts out there that cost less money, they're cheaper. They're not going to give you the job or the performance that you want. On all our brake jobs, we true the drums, we true the rotors, put a non-directional finish on those rotors. That lets the disc brake pads seat up to the rotors so that they bond or mate up to the rotors properly. So that right off the bat you have a nice, good, solid pedal. Flushing the brake system is very important. You always want to have good, clean brake fluid, front and rear. Gets bled out when we do the brakes. Adjust the brakes. Even if we just do a disc brake job on the front, if the drum brakes on the rear are good, you always want to make sure they're adjusted properly. Otherwise, you're going to cause your brand new brake job on the front to wear out prematurely because the rear brakes aren't doing their part of the job.
Rob, I think one of the most common misconceptions is brake noises are normal.
No, they're not normal. You get that a lot. People call, they say their brakes are squeaking. Usually if you got a bad brake squeak, that's because the rotors are not properly turned or machined. The pads are not lubed in the caliper mounts like they should be. Maybe it's the quality of the pads. You always want to use brakes, got to have top quality parts. By truing the rotors, cleaning, servicing the caliper mounts and slides, lubing everything, bleeding the brakes, and you get a good pedal. You get a good hard pedal, you don't get squeaking. Braking in period is very important, and usually when we do a brake job, I always give a person a brochure from one of our suppliers, and it tells you how to properly brake in the disc brake pad so you don't overheat them right off the bat and cause them to glaze over. And then, if they glaze over, they start squeaking and they get noisy, and you have an unsatisfied customer.
Alignments is another part of your name, and you have years of experience, decades on that, including race car alignment setups.
Yeah, we can align everything from your everyday car that's going down the road to the hot August nights cars, pickups, four-wheel drives, two-wheel drives, lowriders, trucks that have been lifted. We've got a few companies that come in with cars that they use for racing, road track racing, vintage racing. We can set the cars up to whatever the specifications that they want it set up for the whatever track they're going to go to. We also do buses and motorhomes. We line big trucks like Kenworths and Peterbuilts. Alignment on the big trucks and the little cars is secondhand. We've got two racks. One is just to accommodate motorhomes and big trucks, and the other rack is to accommodate everyday cars that are front and rear wheel alignable, from anything from a Honda to a Ford F-250.
And mufflers too.
Yeah, we do complete exhaust systems, from repairing a muffler to custom systems on the everyday cars, hot August nights cars, lifted cars, lowered cars. We do all that type of exhaust work, mufflers, brakes, alignments.
Rob Ayres, owner, Ayres Muffler Brake and Alignment Center. Rob, thanks for being here today. How do they get a hold of you?
Thank you. Phone number is 331-4553, and we are on the web at ayresmuffler.com.
For more information on this guest, visit the Preferred Business page on our website, TCBAtv.com.